So to say that I was a nervous driver when I started is a huge understatement. I just felt like I was in a constant life or death situation if I was behind the wheel. Like if I turned my arms like this, I could kill someone. And that thought just like gripped me. So when I took behind the wheel lessons, when I pulled out on the first day, I hit a parked car because I was just in a blind panic. So after that, I was not allowed to leave the parking lot, and I had to take a couple of weeks of extra behind the wheel lessons. And when the instructor said I could go for my license, he said, and I quote, "I really shouldn't pass you, but you're not getting any better. And I know your parents will help you practice." So I went for my license and failed 3 times in a row. Once for pulling out on the wrong side of the street and driving down the wrong side of the street. So I threw in the towel for a couple of years and then finally tried again. Before my 3rd year of college, I was moving off campus and getting my brother's old car, so it was time. I made my dad drive me to a DMV an hour away because I heard it was easier to pass, and it was, and I got my license. And so one of the first nights that I drove myself somewhere alone was to the cool theater kids Lost night. And I had a system. This was before smartphones and GPS. I would print MapQuest directions and I would write each step on a Post-it. And then I would cover my steering wheel with all the Post-its so I wouldn't have to look further than straight down while I was driving because anything else felt extremely dangerous. So I got there without incident. I learned not to roll the windows down using the Post-it method. I learned that the hard way. So I got there, watched Lost. I didn't watch Lost, so I had no idea what was going on. I was just very excited to be included and would gasp with everyone and just was delighted to hang out. And a big motivating factor was a boy named Michael who was very, very cute and charismatic, and it was so much fun. So my usual carpool left after Lost, and I stayed late, and it was very fun and just cool and whatever. So afterwards, Michael walked me to my car, which was around the corner, just made me like him more, and he gave me a big hug, and he kissed me on the cheek, which in retrospect was probably a really bad sign for a potential romance, but at the time I was like, yes, this is great. So I got in the car feeling on top of the world. I did not rearrange my Post-its. I just pulled away and started driving. Instantly lost, just instantly lost. I made a couple of turns. I was like, no, I've got this, I'll be fine. So then I turned to another system I had, which was to call my friend John, who would look up directions for me on his computer at home and then tell me how to get wherever I was going. So I look down at my phone and I look up and I see something dark move across the road in front of my car. And I slam on my brakes, but I feel this thud. And then kind of I felt whatever it was kind of tumbling under the length of my car. So I pulled over and I was just freaking out. Was it a dog? Was it a cat? Was it a possum? Could it have please been a duffel bag somehow blowing across the road? And I knew that I had to look, just freaking out. I get out. I'm also a little scared because if it's a wild animal and it is okay, it could hurt me. So I walk toward it and I see this puffy, stripy tail and little pointy face. And it's a raccoon and it's dead. And I just was hysterical. I just started hysterically crying and apologizing to the raccoon and talking to the raccoon, and I was just freaking out. I trap bugs in glasses and put them outside, and I don't eat meat, and I could not fathom that I killed this little animal. So then it dawned on me how stupid I was being, that it was the middle of the night, and I didn't know where I was, and I was alone, standing next to my car, crying and talking to a dead raccoon. So I jumped in my car, called John, and through my tears, he helped get me home. I obsessed over this raccoon for like weeks. I would like talk to it in my mind. I just felt so bad that like if one thing had been different, like if I hadn't driven myself, or if I hadn't stayed late, or if Michael hadn't walked me in the car, if I had done my Post-its, then I wouldn't have been in that place in time and hit that poor, sad little raccoon. But then it kind of dawned on me one day that I never thought to appreciate all the days that everything goes well. Like I was fixated on this night that this thing happened, but I was kind of doing myself a disservice by not appreciating like every safe drive and every good day. Like if your car gets towed and you freak out, but every time your car is where you left it, you're just like, okay, whatever, like I just expected that. Like you're doing yourself a disservice. So that kind of helped me to forgive myself. And I just hope and pray that that raccoon got to come back as something really great. No offense to raccoons. Thank you.
Sarah Kapp, ladies and gentlemen.